we need to talk about Tony Ferguson. So last weekend, Tony Ferguson fought on the main card of UFC 291. Quite a lot of people thought this was too much Dana privilege due to Tony not having won a fight in over 5 matches at the time of the fight. However, El Cucuchi seemed ready to silence the doubters and prove to the fans that he still had it in him. However, the result of this match could not have been written any different. While there were rare moments in the fight where Tony looked good for the most part, he was a mere shadow of his former self. And in the last minute of a round, he unfortunately got choked out by a tight arm triangle by Bobby Green. You know, this was incredibly sad to see because it confirmed that not only was Tony 100% finished, but it showed how such a huge decline can happen to anyone, even someone on a 12-fight win streak and former interim champ. Unfortunately, it is extremely likely that Tony is now suffering from chronic traumatic encephalopathy due to all that extra punishment he has taken, which he could have prevented, and the symptoms of the disease matching with his recent actions outside the octagon. But where did it all go wrong? The decline of Tony and the start to troubling concerns all started from the Justin Gaethje fight at UFC 249 in 2020. This fight proved significant to the myth that a fighter may never be the same after a certain loss. Not to mention, this is arguably Justin's best performance in the octagon. Unfortunately, Tony was on the brutal receiving end of it. After dropping Justin early on in the fight, what came next was shot after shot from hell. I think having no crowd in the audience released a lot of empathy for viewers and fans of Tony. It got to the point where he had been hit so much and so badly that he even shook his head from all the impact and shock, causing Herb Dean to end the fight. You see, after this fight, it still would have been reasonable for Tony to keep fighting, had he managed to pick himself up and get a victory afterwards. But unfortunately from there on, it just gets worse. From instances like an excruciating armbar from Oliveira and painful heel hook from Dariush. After all this, you start to worry for the fighter's life and health. At this point, it is not even about Tony's fight career anymore. It's about his future. The thing is, on the feet, he actually looked good against Chandler in their matchup and even knocked him down, however, yet again, just as things started to look good. And in all honesty, that was probably Tony's best chance of climbing up to the top 5 and being a title contender. When it's all said and done, is there any point for Stoney to keep taking this punishment like the money he was getting before? I'd assume is the same or less. Chances of a title shot are pretty much impossible now, and it doesn't look like there's a money fight at the moment. Me personally, I think after the Chandler fight was his best time to retire. But what do you guys think? Do you think there is any point of Tony still fighting? Do you think he should retire now, or do you think he should retire a few fights ago?